live for forever. I'd just say that I think in California, we have, on the one hand, we have the death penalty for people that support the death penalty, and on the other hand, we don't have the death penalty for people that don't like the death penalty. And we're a little bit schizophrenic about it in our state. My own views about this are, I support the death penalty for the worst of the worst offenders, you know, in rare cases. And I'm troubled by how long it, I mean, first of all, the death penalties have been suspended in the state. There's no judge there. They're currently suspended. And it's not as though if the voters decided that they didn't want to have the death penalty in California, you know, I wouldn't stop being a prosecutor. I mean, that's fine. But it is troubling that we have it but don't use it. And it's troubling for a lot of reasons. You know, number one, it's troubling for the victims' families, of course. Also, I think that for justice to be meaningful, it needs to be close in time to the offenses that were committed. It needs to be swift. And there really is sort of a little bit of a philosophical question of, if somebody commits, you know, a horrendous crime when they're 30 and they have a horrendous criminal record, and then they're not executed, well, if they're ever executed, they're not executed until they're 60. You know, is that the same person at 60 as it would be at 32? I'm just saying. And so it's, you know, either we should do it or not. You know, I mean, there are a lot of states that don't have it, and there's some states, Texas, Virginia, that have it and use it. And so my view is to either have it and use it or not to have it. But in between that we're in, I think is not helpful. Yeah, Mark.
Okay. Recently, City of Pleasant Hill was passing some ordinances, trying to pass zoning ordinances on the grounds that there's firearm violence is excessive in that area. If you look at the numbers, and basically over the last 10 years, there were 5 incidents. In Santa Clara County, how many people were murdered by guns in the last, say, year, 2, 3 years? And how many gun crimes?
And how many?
How many gun crimes overall in Santa Clara County?
Well, I can answer the murder one's easier for me to answer, because I know approximately what the number of murders is. So far this year in the county, we've had approximately 24, 25 murders. Of those, I would say at least half were guns, but I can't be more specific. I just don't have them all in front of me. There certainly were, in Santa Clara recently, a guy was walking in church and he got hit with a baseball bat. We have, you know, knives, bats, you know, car crashes that we sometimes charge murder. So I would say at least half. In terms of just overall gun crimes, I can't. I mean, I have that information, but I just can't give it to you off the top of my head. But again, I welcome you to send me an email, and we will follow up and find it. Yes.
The gun crimes that your department attempts to prosecute, what percentage of those are gang related, and how does your office pursue gang enhancement?
Sure. So when we prosecute criminal street gangs, and in Santa Clara County, there are a number of different street gangs, but predominantly we have Latino street gangs that are either Norteños, which are Northerners, or Sureños, Southerners, and that's that is most of the gang crime that we have. We have some smaller Asian, some Vietnamese gangs. We have some African American gangs, but I would say that most of the gang members in the county belong to one of those 2 groups. We very aggressively prosecute crimes that gangs commit, and in many circumstances we add an enhancement. Enhancement's not the, you know, there's these words that kind of have the opposite meaning. You know, we add an enhancement, like enhancement's good, you know, it sounds good, but actually it means they're going to get more time in prison. So we add an enhancement for crimes that gang members commit in association with or for the benefit of when a Norteño is shooting a Sereno, and he's doing that because, you know, that's what helps his gang, we charge that enhancement. We currently just finished a 4-month prosecution of a criminal street gang called EHP, El Hoyo Hamos. That was just going, really just hunting for Serenos, and killed a number of individuals, and we have 8 of the members of that gang on trial. So we take that very seriously. You know, I think that when kids are young, there's things that we try to do in the DA's office and with the police department to, you know, encourage them to participate in positive and healthy activities. We devote some of our resources to that, not a lot. I mean, primarily what we're doing is prosecuting, but we do devote some of our resources to that. And, you know, we try to keep kids from becoming gangbangers. At some point, when you become violent and you're hurting other people, whether with knives or with guns or with baseball bats, then you sort of become a cancer in your neighborhood. And in order for the rest of that neighborhood to survive, we need to remove you. You're the tumor that we need to remove, and we send you to state prison. And, you know, we hope that when you come out of state prison, you're not malignant anymore, you're benign. You know, we of course watch you very carefully when you come out of prison.
So what percentage
Oh,
of the gun crime people are committed by those elements?
Oh, by the gangs. I don't know the percentage. I mean, I think that there's certainly, if you took gang members that commit crimes and non-gang members that commit crimes, we probably have more often gang members using guns than the non-gang members. How much? I'm not sure, but probably a little bit more. Yes? This is your second question,
Yeah.
so it's got to be a good one.
We are a gun owner organization, and I'm wondering if you have any ideas or hints or something that can help us to keep our Second Amendment rights?
Well, I think that, first of all, I think it's great that you know what the Second Amendment says. I think it's great that you probably know that there's a Bill of Rights that has 10 amendments to the Constitution. So that sort of puts you ahead of a lot of people in our society. And I think that being engaged in the political process is the best way to protect your rights. I mean, we had one of your representatives talked about the kinds of lobbying that you're doing. And I think that is the way to be effective, because as much as public officials like myself, you know, are trying to do what we think is right, what we think is in the best interest of the community, you know, the people that talk to us and, you know, send us letters and emails and engage with us, you know, we certainly know where they're coming from, and, you know, maybe that's going to affect, you know, how we think about things. I mean, I'm not going to stand here and say that whatever positions I have are never going to change in the next 10 or 15 years. You know, maybe I'll learn something. You know, maybe I'll realize there's something I was doing before that wasn't correct. And the way that that's going to happen is by citizens being engaged in the process. So I think that really is the right approach. You know, in a democracy, you don't win them all. You know, you don't get everything that you want. But I think the idea is that collectively we all sort of do better, even though we don't always get what we want every time. Yes?
So you've talked about criminals and gun crime. I'm wondering how many people you prosecute for using guns in self-defense. Are there any cases that you can think of that?
Well, if you are using a gun in self-defense, that's lawful. So that's a recognized defense to being charged with the crime. And you know, I can't acting in self-defense. But just, you know, saying you're acting in self-defense doesn't make it so. You know, I'm thinking of, I've had cases where, you know, a drug dealer kills someone and, you know, says it was self-defense. And, you know, we look at that very, very carefully. The law provides that if the threat of force against you is immediate and a reasonable person would have a belief that they are gonna be subject to, you know, death or great bodily injury, and they have to, you know, immediately use lethal force, that's provided for. As you can see, it's a somewhat narrow exception because, you know, we wanna be very cautious about giving people the right to shoot someone else, right? I mean, we wanna be very, very cautious about that. Yes? Yeah?
Thanks for your time.